Okie dokie. Crochet lesson 1. Alright, you're going to have your yarn, and we're going to start off with single crochet. So we're going to chain 11 stitches. You're only going to want 10. You're going to be working with 10, but trust me, you're starting off with 11 because you're going to double back on 1. So chain 1, 2, 3. Trying to go slow so the camera doesn't go out of focus here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And single crochet, whatever you're starting off with, however many you want to work with, you always do one more because one is going to be neglected there on the end. See that first loop? We're going to skip it. We're going to go right here to the second one. You want to go under 2 and just leave that one little loop on the bottom. It makes it a little bit more stable. So, see, pull up 1. We're going to do the same thing on the next stitch. You're going to go under 2, just leave the one loop on the bottom, wrap the yarn, pull through. So, go through, hook, pull up the yarn, tail, wrap it, pull it through. And you're going to do this all the way down the row, and you'll wind up with 10 single crochet stitches. And you'll find the way to hold the yarn that'll make it easier for you. Everyone has their own way. Everyone holds the hook different. Some people hold it like a pencil, like I do. Some people find it easier to hold it like a spoon. You can just do it like that. Whatever is the easiest way for you to hold it. Me, it's pencil, but you do what works because you're going to be the one doing this. Okay? But try both methods. See which one is easiest for you, and whichever one you can do for longer periods of time, because that's going to be the telling point right there. Alright, so we're going to pull that loop up just a little bit so we can go back and count rows. So, quit twisting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that little loop there, don't worry about that. That pulls in. Alright, so we're going to pull that back. We're going to chain 1 and then turn the work. Now in single crochet, you work with this first stitch. It'll be different as we go on, but for single crochet, you're going to work in this first one. So you've got your chain, poke it through under 2. You're always going to poke under 2 unless it says back loop only, another lesson. Don't worry about it. So, see those 2? Wrap it. Oops, I just knocked my stand. Ta-da! So, single crochet is awesome. It kind of creates the hole for you to poke it through. So, see? Under the 2, wrap it, pull it up. Ta-da! It is very easy. It's a very tight, dense stitch, and it creates a nice, thick, warm fabric. So, anything you make with knitting or crochet is called a fabric. And you just work down the line. And your last stitch. It's always going to be a more difficult one, but You do the same thing. You poke it under 2, pull up, and stop. Now we're going to do another row. So remember, chain 1, turn your work, and in the first stitch, under 2. And see how it pulls up like a little upside down V? You're just going to poke in right beside there. Unlike with knitting, crochet, you're always working just a little off to the side of the stitch of the row before. So even if you have the same number of stitches, the stitches don't exactly stack on top of each other. Knitting, you're pulling up a loop from a loop, so the stitch is directly on top of the other one. That's why when you get a little further along, you start doing graphs and whatnot, you'll have to watch how your stitches lay, because you're going to be just a little to the side. But another lesson, another day. And see, remember, you're always going to have 2 loops on top. Alright, and that is single crochet. Now, double is a little bit differently, and we're just going to do the 2 stitches because that's going to be enough information to take in. You're going to chain 3, turn, and this counts as your first double crochet, so you're going to skip this one, yarn over, go to this second stitch, and remember, you're still going to have your 2. So you wrap, yarn over, you're going to pull through 1, 2, yarn over, and pull through 2 more, and that's going to create your double stitch. Now you'll notice, like, patterns will have American terms or UK or British terms. It's going to be called something else. It's actually going to be called a triple, which kind of makes more sense, but in American terms, it is a double crochet. So always make sure when you're reading a pattern that you're looking for American terms, or your stitches are not going to be what you think they are. Alright, so yarn over, go to the next stitch, pull up, yarn over again, 1, 2, yarn over, and it's always going to be pull through 2. And that's going to create your second double. Now see how this is a little bit more open, it's a little bit more lacy look. When you do like lace patterns and whatnot, a lot of it's going to be in double crochet. It moves a little bit faster and it leaves things a little bit more open and breathable. And it's literally like 2 single crochet stacked, but you just have this space between. Okay, now we're going to work down the line, continuing the double. And you can use whatever size yarn and hook is easiest for you to work with. I'm working with a 6.0 because when you're learning, using a larger hook is just a little bit easier than trying to do it with a tiny hook until you get the motions and the feel of the yarn down. It's just easier to work with a larger hook. And you're going to do the same. You're going to work through all of the stitches. Just like you did with the single crochet. Now we're going to go back and count. 2, wait for the focus. Silly camera. 2, 4, 6, 8, and you only have 9 double crochet, and then you have your 3 chain, but that counts as a double crochet. So focus. anyways. Alright, we're going to do one more row of double crochet. So chain 3, yarn over, skip that one, go to the next stitch. And double crochet, your chaining counts as a row. And single crochet, you chain and then stitch. It's different depending on what kind of stitches you're using. So, yarn over. Oh, this not focusing is driving me crazy. It's got to be driving you guys crazy. Alright. There we go. That's better. Yarn over. Next. And almost there. And I kind of just hold my yarn like that, just over the top finger, and weave it through. What some people get fancy and weave it through all their fingers. I can't do that. It drives me bonkers. I just do it over my pointer. And when you're doing double crochet all the way across, because you know that one counts as a double, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Always make sure you count, because double crochet can be a little tricky. You'll sometimes forget one on the end of the row, and then you wind up with, step ladders. When you get to the end, you're going to go through the top chain of your double crochet. So maybe did that one a little tight because it doesn't want to go through. And see, you're always going to have 2 on top. So yarn over, pull up, and ta-da. Okay, and you have single and double crochet. Keep practicing.